15 foods you didn't know you could freeze. Rice can be frozen raw for storage or cooked halfway and frozen for easier cooking later on. Tortillas can be frozen for months at a time. However, like many other breads, they can dry out. To revive them, microwave with a damp paper towel. Organic peanut butter. Most peanut butter has a year-long shelf life. However, if you freeze peanut butter because you just don't eat it a lot, you can freeze it and let it thaw. Tastes great. Freezing your garlic keeps it fresh and flavorful. It is also a good way to store it without stinking up your house or fridge. Chop it up beforehand and store in cubes for easy cooking. Do you crave corn on the cob during the cold winter days? Fresh-picked corn can be frozen for almost a year if you get it in the freezer ASAP. You can freeze the husk and all. However, if you buy it from a store, you will want to husk and blanch it to stop loss of flavor and color. Instead of wasting a full piece of fruit whenever a recipe calls for lemon or orange zest, save the rinds of the fruit for up to 6 months in your freezer and use as needed. Freezing an extra loaf of your favorite brand bread ensures you never run out or are stuck with a moldy loaf. Just pop the bag in the freezer somewhere, it won't get squished. When you are ready to eat, let it defrost overnight on the counter. Blocks of cheese can be frozen for months without going bad, and if you let them defrost completely before moving them to the fridge, they won't get dry and crumbly. To make sure shredded cheese doesn't freeze together in chunks, add a little cornstarch or flour to the bag and shake well. If you are sensitive to onions, one trick is to keep them frozen before use. This can make them difficult to chop, but you can also pre-chop a whole batch at once, throw them in bags, and not have to worry about cutting onions for months. If you have fresh herbs in your garden that you know you won't be able to use before the season is over, cut up and freeze them in cubes of butter for easy use in the winter months. You wouldn't even know that they weren't fresh. Save the butts and ends of carrots, celery, peppers, onions, potato skins, and other scraps in the freezer until you have a full bag. You can use these otherwise scraps to make a healthful broth for soup later on. Eggs can be cracked and frozen in bags for scrambled eggs or individually in ice cube trays for up to a year. Just let them thaw in the fridge and use as you normally would.